I'm already on the record. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go to the Super Bowl in 2016. Let's talk about it. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. 32 teams, 32 days, and today we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as I said in the intro, this is my AFC representative. The Pittsburgh Steelers will go to the Super Bowl. That is my prediction. I said in 2016, but obviously I mean in 2017. You know, this is the 2016 NFL season, but the Super Bowl would be in 2017. But either way, I like the Steelers this season. We're about to get into it. We're about to talk about their roster, their strengths, their weaknesses, look at their schedule, win-loss predictions, and get the hell out of here. Let's start with their strengths. Number one strength to me is close, but it's their running backs. Now, this is whenever Le'Veon Bell isn't suspended and not injured, by the way. But Le'Veon Bell, we know what he can do. I think when healthy, he's the most dynamic running back in the league. Hell, he's the best running back in the league. When you combine that running and receiving ability, I mean, that is so versatile, so fantastic. It's so great to me to have that type of, juxtaposition in terms of the run and the receiving game, and pretty good blocker as well. He's a great player. And then, you have D'Angelo Williams behind him, who very impressive in his own right. Guy had 900 yards on 200 carries last season. Those are higher numbers than almost, I would like to say, 20 out of the 32 teams got in their run games last year. I mean, he definitely was top 10 running back last year with those yards. So D'Angelo Williams, really, really good backup to have. And behind them, Fitzgerald Toussaint, who can be okay in his own right. So the running back group from top to bottom to me is absolutely fantastic. You look at their second strength is the quarterback position. Ben Roethlisberger, to me, has solidified himself as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. To me, it goes Rodgers, Brady, Russell Wilson, and then it goes Ben Roethlisberger. This guy continues to play absolutely fantastic. Oh, and by the way, Cam Newton is up there too. But it's close. I like Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's a better quarterback. I think Cam Newton's a better football player. I think Ben Roethlisberger's a better quarterback. He's really flourished under this Todd Haley offensive scheme. Who saw that coming after how rocky that relationship started? But it has really flourished, and it continues to flourish, especially because of Antonio Brown. Unfortunately, I'll go ahead and spoil you. The wide receiver position is not a strength on this football team, but it's neither a weakness. But hey, Antonio Brown in his own right, he's a really good player. There's no doubt about that. Let's just go ahead and talk about the wide receivers. So Antonio Brown, one side. I mean, the guy, I don't think he's... Okay, pound for pound, he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, but I don't think he's quite the best. I do believe Odell Beckham is a little more dynamic and Julio Jones is a little more dominant. But hey, pound for pound, he's absolutely fantastic, and he's at least number 3. There's no doubt about that. He's very skilled. He's the most skilled wide receiver. I'll give you that. The best, I do think his physical limitations, unfortunately, in terms of his height, does dick him down just a tad bit, but he's great. Don't get me wrong, he's great. Other side, unfortunately, Martavis Bryant, had to get suspended for the whole damn year. God, why can't these guys just stay off of whatever they're staying on? Just get off of it. You have Marcus Wheaton now, who's the number 2. Well, he should be, because now Sammy Coates is challenging for that number 2 spot. But let's just talk about Marcus Wheaton. The guy needs to take a step up for me. He was more of a deep ball guy last year, more of a corner route, more of a 6 route or 5 route guy. Need to see him develop his route tree a little bit more, be a little more versatile. But I think he's a decent wide receiver to have, definitely. Sammy Coates really didn't impress me much last year. Really didn't impress me much at Auburn. I thought he was limited at Auburn. But they've been talking him up lately in training camp, saying, oh, look how good Sammy Coates is. This guy is going to be good. Well, I'm not to see that, to believe that. But I think the wide receiver position, it's actually okay. In fact, it's pretty good when you have Antonio Brown leading that group. And Marcus Wheaton is decent in his own right. We know that to be true. Darius Hayward-Bay, he's limited, and he's getting old. I don't know why he keeps skating by on his speed, because the guy is 29 years old. Can't keep skating by and getting away with that. You have to look out for that in the future. I think it's going to be a little bit of a problem. I couldn't quite put it as a strength because I need to see what's going to happen this year, but I think the offensive line is actually pretty damn good. Okay, you have David DeCastro at right guard, who continues to be absolutely fantastic. Ramon Foster on the left side, left guard, who continues to be absolutely fantastic as well. Marquise Pouncey, assuming he can come back and reclaim his old ways at the center position, he should be really good once again. Alan Gilbert on the right side, Marcus Gilbert on the right side, right tackle position. He continues to be a decent right tackle. The question is, though, left tackle, don't love that right now at all. I mean, we're talking about starting either Ryan Harris or, just guys that Alejandro Villanueva. None of these names offer any confidence for me whatsoever. I think they're going to have to avoid that left side pretty much. Unless you're going to go inside to Ramon Foster and Marquise Pouncey. But this could definitely be a strength for this football team. I couldn't quite put it there just yet. Tight end could be a strength as well. Just guys that have potential right now. Ladarius Green has been okay, been pretty good. Not really as good as I think he should be. I think he should be a 700, 800-yard guy. And he's not that. He's more of a 600-yard guy. 700 if you really push him and you really force the ball to him. I think he's better than that. Hopefully he finally reaches his potential with Ben Roethlisberger, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think he'll definitely replace Heath Miller's production, because Heath Miller's production over the past couple of years hasn't been very good. And then behind him, they have Jesse James, the old tight end out of Penn State. I remember this guy. I scouted this guy a couple years ago, and I think he continues to be a decent inline red zone tight end. That's what they want. That's what they have in Jesse James. Let's move on to the defense for a little bit. Why not? So here's the thing about the defense. The funny thing is, whenever you talk about the defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, people always want to talk about, their linebackers. Their linebackers are so good. I think the linebackers are actually the weakness of this defense. I know this is so shocking, but it's actually true. Okay, Bud Dupree, his play really diminished last year. Really didn't play that well last year. It's a little bit of a secret. Don't tell anybody. I expected much more from Bud Dupree last year. You look at the inside linebackers. Ryan Shazier, really good in coverage. Still not very disciplined. Football IQ really isn't there, really isn't developed. He needs to get a lot better to me. Lawrence Timmons looks old and slow. We're talking about James Harrison being 38 years old. James Harrison looked miles better than Lawrence Timmons last year. They need to cut Lawrence Timmons as soon as this year is over. He's scheduled to get $15 million against the cap next year. There's no way in hell he deserves a dime of that. His play has severely diminished over the past couple of years. I think this linebacking core is the worst part of this Steelers team. You're talking about Arthur Moats, also an outside linebacker, not very impressive. James Harrison is the best outside linebacker at 38 years old. That's not good. You need better than that. Jarvis Jones still not reaching up to his potential. So it's just guys like Ryan Shazier, Bud Dupree, Jarvis Jones haven't reached their potential. Lawrence Timmons, who's too old at this point. Jordan Zumwalt, who can't reach his potential either. I think the linebackers are the worst part of this defense, the worst part of this team. They need to reach their potential. They can't do it. Let's get the defensive line. I think it's actually pretty good. Which is the one question is right now is that nose tackle. Daniel McCullers and the guy that you drafted in the third round, Javon Hargrave. They're expected to battle it out. I really haven't heard anything. I've been looking for more updates on who's winning the nose tackle battle. I haven't heard anything. If you've heard something, please tell me down below. I have Daniel McCullers slotted in that position right now because I'm not really sure. This guy that was like 6'7", 360 pounds coming out of University of Tennessee, huge guy, but he never really reached his potential at UT. UT fans will tell you this. I know because they always love to tell me about this. I live in Tennessee and they won't shut up about this. So that's the question for me. But the other two, you have defensive ends on either side, Stephon Tuitt and Cameron Hayward, they're really good. And especially Cameron Hayward, really, really good. So I really like those defensive linemen. I couldn't quite put it as a strength position, though, because I don't know anything about the nose tackle position. And when I don't know anything about 1 out of 3 positions, it ain't a strength. Sorry, I can't quite put it there. A lot of people like to talk about the secondary, like to trash the secondary. I say, why? Ross Cockrell actually played well last year. I think he's going to take another step up and actually solidify himself as the best corner on this football team and a pretty good number 1 cornerback in the NFL. Other side, William Gay, getting a little old, but I thought he had one of his better years in terms of the recent years of his career. He was really sound, he had good awareness, good football IQ. You saw his ability to yet again get his hands on the football, had a nice pick 6 here and there. I thought William Gay was really good. Behind them, though, Senquez Golson cannot get healthy to save his life. You cannot rely upon him. So you're going to ask Doran Grant to come in and help you out. You drafted Artie Burns in the first round. But I think the cornerbacks, when you have Ross Cockrell and William Gay, I think that's a decent starting pair. And then your first round draft pick, Artie Burns, should be good. But we'll see. The safeties, I think they're going to be good. Mike Mitchell, I think he gets too much slack. I think he's pretty good. Graded out at 79.5 on Pro Football Focus. That's a really good rating. And you drafted Sean Davis out of Maryland. The guy likes to hit people. He's going to hit a lot of people. He's going to be that new strong safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're really going to coach him up. And he's going to be a really good player for this defense. And then behind them, you have Robert Golden, who's okay in his own right. So really, I think there's only one weakness on this football team, and it's the linebackers. And it's the pass rush, getting consistent pass rush from these linebackers. Actually, well, they can get a pass rush, but they're just not very disciplined. They don't play the run enough when they're pass rushing, or they're supposed to be pass rushing, right? You want to check the run before you just go all out. They get duped by play action. They get fooled by misdirections. They just need to play the run better for me, and then they'll be okay. But I think the linebackers is the only real problem here. I think we're talking about a good defense. I think we're talking about a great offense. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Super Bowl. Let's talk about their win-losses in the schedule here. I think the schedule is actually decently tough, but I think they'll be able to handle it. You're talking about going up against the NFC East. Now, that's pretty easy. Okay, but you have to go to Washington, and that is tough, and you do it week 1, and this is without Le'Veon Bell. Now, D'Angelo Williams is very good in his own right. But I think you guys might lose this game. Okay, I think Washington, they're still really good. They're still going to give teams some problems. I think they're only going to go 8-8, but there will be a fair amount of wins in that schedule. I'm telling you, they're going to give you some problems here. Then we talk about going to Philadelphia. I think you guys can go to Philly and win, no problem there. You host Dallas, you host New York Giants. I think these actually might be close games, but you'll pull them out at the end of the day. You guys go up against the AFC North. No, that's because you're in the AFC North. Duh. Okay, so I think you guys are actually going to split with Baltimore. I think that's just a weekly, yearly ritual. You guys are just split with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why. Only God knows why that happens. It continues to happen. It will happen again. I think you guys are going to split with the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're going to sweep the Cleveland Browns. That means I have you going 4-2 in your own division, and I think that's a very safe and sound prediction. You guys also go up against the AFC East, and you guys go to Miami, and you go to Buffalo. Now, this is just a feeling, but I think you're going to lose. Even though I don't love Miami, I think you guys, or Buffalo, to be honest, I think you guys are going to lose one of these games. And I think it probably could be that Buffalo game, depending on if Rex Ryan is still alive or not, because he may be dead at this point. I think they're going to fire him pretty early. But I think you guys are going to lose one of these games. I don't know why, but that's my feeling. But you guys host New England and host the New York Jets. I think you're going to win both of these games. I think you can beat New England in Pittsburgh. I think that's a W. I think you beat New England in an AFC Championship preview. And you guys go, what would that be? 3-1 against the AFC East. And then you guys have to go up against the second place teams in the AFC South and the AFC West. And that would be should be the Houston Texans. No, not the Houston Texans. It should be the Indianapolis Colts. And yet, that's week 12. And that should be the, what's the other team you guys should face there? AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs. And yep, there it is in week 4. So I think you guys can actually win both of these games. Definitely, I think you guys can go to Indianapolis and win. It won't be very easy, but I think you guys can definitely do it. And then beating the Chiefs in your own house, you should be able to get that done. What does that spell? 12-4. That's my official prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 12-4 on the season. Best case scenario, not much higher. I say 13-3. I don't see you guys being a 14 or 15 or even 16 win team this season. I think you're going to be very good, but I think there are losses just because the NFC North, it's pretty tough, and there are losses in that division. And then you start to go up against some tough teams, some trap games that I think you'll lose. But again, I have you guys going to the Super Bowl, so just get over it. I think the best case scenario is 13-3. Worst case scenario, assuming you're healthy, it's 10-6. If you're healthy, yeah, you'll go 10-6 at least. I mean, that's the very worst. If you're not healthy, then it could be even worse than this. But whenever I'm giving you my best and worst case scenarios, this is assuming you're healthy. And right now, you're pretty freaking healthy. So just stay healthy. Make sure Le'Veon Bell stays off of whatever he's on or whatever he's doing or whatever's going on. You get his head straight. Get him healthy. Get him smart. Get him wise. Keep Antonio Brown healthy. Keep Ben Roethlisberger healthy. And there's no reason why you should not make my premonition come true, and you guys should not be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So with that said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. What do you think about the upcoming Pittsburgh Steelers? Comment down below. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.